I believe that AI won't take it.
Treat interviews as conversations, not presentations.
It shouldn't be written as a job description or just responsibilities.
Numbers are not everything, it's also how you got there, right?
This person most likely will leave because of the burnout.
You'll lose your job in 2027. That's the subject line of an email I got last week. A newsletter from a growth leader making the case that some marketing roles will hit their shelf life soon and others will completely change. We're here today to talk about what you should stop doing as a marketer to keep or get a job in 2027. I'm Christian, and on Birch Talks, we unveil the human side of marketing work, share inspiring stories, and give you specific frameworks to help you build campaigns you are proud of. And today we are with Yuliia Hychka. Yuliia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
And for those who don't know you, Yuliia is a TA and HR consultant. You have many years of experience in-house with companies like Semrush, right? And right now you're giving also services to many other companies. So we are very excited to hear your experience and your participation in many marketing processes. Just to kickstart the conversation, maybe we can paint a little bit the landscape of what you have experienced and the situation right now. So have you currently been in processes where you've seen that marketers are being rejected due to lack of skills, or maybe to rephrase it better, with skills that are outdated?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since the beginning of the year, I guess the market has changed significantly. And at the moment, what I see, like almost each and every hiring manager and founder asks for is a like marketers having the AI
Okay.
skills. So it's mostly about like not that you need to be a professional in using AI, but actually that you need to understand how it works and you have to try it yourself already.
First question, we already hear the word AI.
Absolutely.
AI is everywhere. So it's not only maybe lack of skills, it's not adapting to the new skills
Yeah.
that are coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let's imagine we are in 2006 and we are not using internet. So that's more or less the same at the moment.
Wow, that's a big statement. Have you participated in some processes where actually those positions are new positions created due to the new skills that are coming?
Even last year, when I still was at Semrush, we hired for AI architect to actually build different processes, operations for the marketing department. Also, the recent role that I had was marketing technology manager. So
Okay.
it was someone who would need to build like also the marketing infrastructure in terms of the operation side of things.
Okay.
So that's a shift towards operations and like cutting on time that you're actually, spending on manual work.
Super interesting because these are jobs that 18 months ago,
Yeah, they didn't exist.
they didn't exist, no? How does a company realize they need those new positions? How do they come to you and ask for these new skills? Because also as a recruiter, you have to learn
Yeah.
about these new skills. So what's the process there?
Most of the time, like the market just tells you what to do.
Mhm.
So founders, for example, would come to me saying that we need someone who is already AI proficient, and they sometimes they don't understand what exactly they mean by that. So we need to figure out what exactly this is. So AI proficient could mean anything,
Of
right?
course.
And then we would just sit with them and understand what exactly they are looking for in terms of like what to improve, or whether they just want someone who understands like how all this works, or maybe they really need someone who already tried or built something from scratch, and then would go from there most of the time. Sometimes it's about pushing back and actually trying to figure out whether we need that as a company or not.
Recently, I saw a post where it mentioned it was catastrophic. It's like, be careful, AI is going to take junior marketers' jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, should junior marketers be scared of it? Are those positions going to disappear? What's your take on that?
I love statements like this, honestly. And yeah, I'll explain why exactly. So, everyone now is talking about that AI will take your job, you won't be needed anymore, and stuff. I believe that AI won't take it. It might influence or replace, let's say, some kind of jobs, but it's more about you would have to kinda change the way you work because of AI. So for juniors especially, it's important to learn how AI works, how to build, how to automate, and that is super relevant at the moment. And I also think that juniors have a better edge in terms of testing with the AI and trying things and actually entering the like different companies uh, that they didn't have previously. So, for example, previously you'd need to have only 4 years of experience to actually enter the role, right? Now, what I also see, like the change of mindset, let's say, that you might not need 3, 4 years, you need 1 year, but you need curiosity about AI.
Hmm.
So you need to try already, and that would be like this something that would keep you on the market.
Actually, I think a lot of people will be breathing at home saying, okay, I can have a job.
And it's always been like that because, yeah, like curiosity always wins. And even if you don't have like all the relevant experience that this company needs, sometimes hiring managers would hire someone who's curious rather than someone who's like 100% skilled and relevant for the job, but not that curious anymore.
Closed off.
Yeah.
Okay, I really like the sentence. I will maybe tattoo it. Curiosity always wins. What is it that you see that marketers are doing today that they should stop doing?
Yeah. First thing, actually thinking that AI
Okay.
will take their job.
Yeah, that's the first thing that they should
Yeah.
forget, okay?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
I see now is marketers start building their brand only when they job hunting. It's not helping when you're actually job hunting. It's working the other way around. When you're already in a rush, when you're like starting to, I don't know, to add more people on in your LinkedIn network, start posting, applying for jobs and stuff. That just would take more time, and it wouldn't be like it would be more stressful, and it wouldn't be that efficient, I would say.
Totally.
You have to start building your brand, personal brand from the like when you have a job or like prior to start actually job hunting.
How would you recommend people to start building that kind of brand? Because look, everyone is a bit different and some people is more shy and
Mm-hmm.
to be super interactive is very difficult. Are there little things that marketers or professionals should start doing that would already help them with their maybe LinkedIn
Yeah.
personal brand?
Yeah, first of all, like you can work with your LinkedIn just to update it and like have all the information relevant. Maybe any campaigns, if you're a campaign manager, you can also have them somewhere in the featured zone.
Yes.
And then you can start commenting. Like you don't need to start posting from the, like if you haven't done this, but you can start commenting on different posts and also sharing your experience or just thoughts. And it would already build the brand and visibility.
People will notice you. And I think that advice, it's very easy to take for a senior, but also for a junior, right? Because
Yeah.
it just shows the things that you are interested in. No?
Yes, yes. And also it shows that like how you think, if you comment actually what you think, not, these AI generated comments, but actually you show your thinking, that would already help you also, even if you're a junior, to like become more visible and to have this credibility.
Look, I mean, you already mentioned, right, that one of the things that people should stop doing
Hmm.
is building the brand too late. Is there anything else that comes to mind that you could that would be actionable pretty easily?
Yeah, talking about the interviews, what I'm noticing is that people over prepare to interviews and they prepare that much that their answers are too polished and they don't even listen to the question that they are asked.
Ooh.
So it shows, like from the very, first words, you can understand that, like whether this person, let's say, practice their answers to specific questions and they repeat again and again. Even if you ask follow-up questions, they would turn to the answers that they already gave. So it shows you need to prepare, obviously, but don't polish your answers. Just have ready 3 to 4 cases from your experience. Think whether it is better to apply those cases, and then based on this, follow the conversation. Like, interview is not a presentation as per se, it's a conversation, and you also choose the company as like same as company chooses you.
In the end, you as an interviewee, you also have some power, no, of
Yeah.
decision. So, but I think it's also how you prepare, right? Because you said one thing, have your cases, your experience ready. I think it shows also in those interviews because you will also be disqualifying who's confident about what they've done and who maybe didn't, no?
Sometimes it's also not just about what you've done, it's about how you think about it. So even if you don't have this experience, sometimes it doesn't matter. So, for example, you could turn your answer into like, I haven't done this in my previous job or in my current role, but I think if I had this situation, I would do this. So, and then you just share your thought process, and that's the most important thing.
So not over prepare. Well, over prepare if you want, but keep it conversational.
Yes, nothing to add.
That's it. Nothing to add there. Okay, I like it. So we have 2 points of things that people can uh, start doing right now, which is building their brand, being curious about what's there, to
Mhm.
be able to have the confidence to keep it conversational.
The third one. So I would say CV and also how you show your work on CV. All my advices are around don't polish it too much. You have your CV, it's your story of your like experience, the things that you've done, and it shouldn't be written as a job description or just responsibilities. So you're mentioning, I don't know, led the campaign management, and that's it. I got it, but the rest 100 people also done this. So what exactly you are bringing to the table? You can turn it as build the brand awareness programs from scratch by doing this, achieving X amount of, I don't know, visibility, views, reactions, again, you name it. So actually showing the impact that you brought to the company. So that always wins, and that's something that both recruiters and hiring managers look for.
Oh, so because it's true that the old concept of
Yep.
a CV has always been this position, this many years. These are my responsibilities. But in marketing, and especially marketing, that it's about performance. Um, Numbers are not everything. It's also how you got there, right?
Yep.
I love that. So that shows also your character, what you can provide to the company.
Yeah, exactly. And it also shows seniority level,
Mm-hmm.
because the trend is the more senior professional is, the more like numbers and impact metrics they have on their CV. And also not only in CV but also in conversations. They when they enter this job interview call, they talk about revenue, they talk about all these metrics, they talk how they actually built something or got to the result that they got. So it shows. And with that, you can actually understand whether like the level more or less.
Okay, and you can mention that on an interview, but also your
In
CV
yes.
should also mention those things, you
Yeah,
think?
reflect the same things. And
Okay.
if you mention, for example, in your CV that you led a 10 person team, and then during the interview you would tell me that you led only 4
Oh,
person team,
wow.
that would be not that good.
Yeah, a bit fishy. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Also, I don't like this statement, but it's partially true that you have, like, your CV has up to 10 seconds to actually catch my attention. So, and if I open it and I see it's messy, it's not structured, I don't see the information that I need from the very few, like, first seconds, it's most likely I will pass on it.
That makes
So.
sense because I guess that how many applications can be for a job?
It depends on the company, but for like bigger corporations, for example, there might be up to 2,000 of applications for one role. So, and it's just impossible.
You can't waste time.
Yeah, especially if it's senior profile. Yes, I'm looking for numbers. I look for similar roles, let's say. So it doesn't mean that if I'm looking for a campaign manager, I would only see like the campaign manager title, and if there it's not there, I will pass on it. No, it's more or less again of what you've done and how, like, and the results. So I don't care about the like university or certifications that much, to be honest. But that's more or less personal, I would say. I care about the results you can bring to the company.
How important is AI? Is it something that must be there or it depends?
I would say that 99% it must be there. At least some mention of AI, the tool, for example, that you use. You don't need to write a long essay how you actually used or what you've built. You can do it, that you've built an engine that helped to, your team to reduce time to something by 20%, or again, up to you, you name it. But now it's very important to have at least some mention about AI in your CV, because again, we are coming to the point that most of the companies are looking for these AI skills. So when you're just passing your CV, you need to make sure that you have it there so that the recruiter will see it.
And you mentioned, for example, building the agent. Could it be, for example, uh, acquiring a software that helped the company achieve something? Could it be, are there other ways to implement this in your CV? Because maybe there are some professionals out there that didn't build an agent
Yep.
from zero, but they are curious enough to find other strategies. All of that counts?
Yes, yeah, it counts. Mentioning agents because it's easier also to put in your CV,
Yeah.
easier, let's say. But it could be that, for example, you're a content manager and you just automated the workflow. So yeah, it could be like some small things, small pieces, but they will bring
Makes
this.
total sense. Like showing how you can implement technology in
Yeah,
your workflows
yeah,
and improve the company's situation, performance,
yeah.
or results that you're looking for.
Hmm.
Is there something else out there that you really consider is important?
Yeah, I think the fourth one that I would mention is also what I see on the market and what hiring managers and founders ask for is the point that you should stop doing is over specializing rather than like having this range. Now, more and more roles require you not being specialized on one thing, but actually being more of a generalist. So, for example, the growth marketing manager, the brand manager, what else could it be there? Like product marketing manager. Those roles are like the demand is growing for those roles now, and it means that like only I don't know, LinkedIn ads manager wouldn't work that much anymore. So you need to understand also, like, you need to, coming back to curiosity, be curious about what else is there, but also try to touch on different things. Something that also I was hiring previously is senior marketing project manager to a like bigger company, up to 500 people. So they asked this marketing project manager to be proficient in paid, also in brand and in events. So it's everything, not the easiest profile, let's say, to find,
Yeah.
more of a generalist one. But I see that the demand is there for these roles.
How often, or have you been in situations where the company, right, founder or whoever is participating on, we need that position, comes to you saying, we want this, and that, and sometimes you have to say, look, I totally understand that you want everything in one person, but
Mhm.
maybe we should divide it and have some specialization.
Oh, wow. I had it so many times that I can't even count. Yeah, usually, especially for smaller companies, it works this exact way. So they want one person to do like everything, and it doesn't matter actually if you're a marketing manager or a salesperson.
You have to do everything.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, there was multiple times when I actually needed to sit with them and talk about what we are trying to achieve in the next X amount of months, that we need this person to have everything, or and whether some of the skills could be built on the go. So, for example, if in the next 6 months we need one exact thing, again, events. So we would rather focus on hiring the event manager with also some like with growing responsibilities to other things. So rather than spending this half a year on finding the right person.
Yeah.
So it's usually working the way that you sit with the hiring manager, the founder, you show them how many people on the market with the skill set that they are looking for, and then you also like explaining what you can get in this amount of time, and what, like, if we remove some of the requirements, how and when you would get this person and the results that you're trying to achieve.
You can ask
Mhm.
for something, but if that's not out there, you have to be realistic too.
Yep.
And maybe that's just me, but I'm also thinking about results. You might want everything to be done by one person, but how realistic is that that person will have all the time for all the tasks they want, no? So I think that also comes into mind when making a decision, no?
Um,
Or it should.
it should.
Okay.
It should come to mind. Yeah, but like more realistically, and also what I've seen so far is that smaller companies are not even smaller, bigger as well. They're hiring for one person to cover many different areas. And this person will come. Of course, they're like happy to take on the new role and stuff. They would do everything for some amount of time, like 6 months, maybe 9 months. They would sit there for 12 hours. But then, like after 6 to 9 months, what we see, it's like this person most likely will leave because of the burnout. And then we need to start all over again with hiring, onboarding,
That's crazy, yeah, and it's a lot of effort too, and
and
time.
and it's a lot of money for the company, because when for just if we are talking about hiring, you need to pay salary to your recruiter, at least two hiring managers, and usually time of hiring managers cost a lot,
Onboarding the person to the role
onboarding as well, and it could take also up to 6 months.
and starting all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, not ideal. So that's very important. We talked about what to stop doing as a marketer. I know that you are also a career coach.
Yep.
So when someone comes to you, imagine a marketer that feels stuck in their position. We have told them what to stop doing. We told them some things that they can start actioning. But what is it that you are looking for when you meet with that marketer or that professional, what are the key levers that they should be looking to stop feeling stuck?
I would say that first of all, they need to understand why they stuck there.
Okay.
So what exactly is blocking them? If they can to do it on their own, that's already a win, I would say. If we are working together, that would be just a session for us where I would ask also different questions like, how do you feel about doing that? What exactly is not working for you? What do you like doing is something that I love asking, to be honest. And it could be connected to your career or even not connected. And that usually uncovers a lot of things about your personality, about what you enjoy and what brings you this joy.
What you're curious about.
Yes, yeah. And from there, yeah, it just depends. Maybe it's just the current company that doesn't work for you anymore. But maybe sometimes it happens that someone is working in marketing but they actually want to open a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So, and that's the dream of their life. And they don't realize it until they start talking about it.
Mm.
So, you just need to be true with yourself about what's not working at this very moment and what ideally you would want to do. And from there, you can definitely go.
That makes total sense, no? In the end, these are conversations that one has to have with themselves,
Yeah.
right? I think it's very important to find sometimes, I mean, jobs are jobs, and sometimes we will go through rough patches, but um, I think it's important to rediscover curiosity,
Yeah.
rediscover a passion. So sometimes it comes with a new skill too. You can reinvent yourself.
But if we are talking, like if someone is coming to me saying that I don't know what I want and I want to understand it, it would be a completely different conversation. So then, if we're coming back to the professional one, um, usually CV doesn't help that much as a 1 hour talk, to be very honest, because then, like in CV, you usually mention, right, 6 points that you worked on, but it's not everything. So, what would help is actually, if they're doing it themselves, writing down everything that they've done so far in each of the roles and in each company, mapping what worked better for them, where did they have this joy,
Mm-hmm.
and then trying to also search the market. For example, now again you have AI, you can pull all this information to AI and just ask, like, based on this information, are there any jobs that I can take?
Mm-hmm.
So that would help themselves a bit to kind of find the direction. If we are working together, it would be, I would just ask different questions also to uncover what's behind the job description or
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities. And it could be something like, tell me something that is not written here, but you've been doing it for a long time. And that's the moment when they start thinking about it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So people sometimes, well, it happens to me. It's true. Sometimes I have to reflect on things I've done, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised about myself. Things that I haven't been tracking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is very important because then you need it in your CV too. No, we were mentioning sometimes you might be stuck because you haven't been able to just track what you are capable
Yeah.
of. No.
Yeah. Exactly. And this like reflection exercise also helps with, uncovering cases that were or might have been difficult ones, but you haven't thought of them at all. And then it would help you to come to the interview with 3 to 4 cases prepared, and you would just ice it.
I love that. And maybe as an advice for those marketers that are stuck right now, like maybe it just requires a little bit of also self-reflection,
Yeah.
maybe a session with you, but definitely just understanding what is it that you really have done, uh, and start documenting from now on maybe what is it that you're doing in your role, because in the industry that is changing so much, being able to track, I think it's also an advantage for you later, no?
Yeah, exactly. Not only when you need to find a job, but also when you're trying to, I don't know, uncover new ways of working, or just, thinking of what have you done already and coming up with new ideas or solutions to different problems.
I think we were talking right now about CVs and how you can help some candidates assess what they've done right, what they should improve. So I want you to put on that situation. You're hiring for a full stack performance marketer, and you receive the CV that I will show you right now.
Hmm.
What are the things that surprise you? What would you change? I want to see your reaction. On the first glance, the first seconds, good or bad? We already see a smile.
Well, it's interesting. It's a
Okay.
combination of different things put together. Let's start with the very beginning. I'd say I'm experiencing a mix of emotions.
Okay.
It definitely caught my eye, but just because of the numbers that I see here,
Okay.
I would spend a bit more time on it than 10 seconds for sure.
Makes sense. There's a lot of information, no, in the
Yeah,
first
it's a lot.
glance.
It's a lot. I would put experience under the about session right here, because it's more important than core competencies and certifications. Certifications usually go under the experience or even under the languages. I don't see the languages here, but maybe just because it's one page. About or summary, how do you call it then? Experience, and then language certifications, core competencies, not sure. But
It could be useful, but maybe if you tie them more with the experience, no?
yes, but also like depends how you do it. So not
Okay.
to overwhelm this part, because if I see in the experience in the description of this one role too many, let's say, lines, or too much text, sometimes I would not want to read it. I see also numbers in the summary section, which is good, but I see the like words like proven track record, managing X amount annual ad budgets. Proven track record is something which is very subjective, and it doesn't help you at all in terms of it doesn't tell the story of yours. It
Mhm.
just some words that everyone is using in their CV.
Okay.
So try to make it as much personal as you can in terms of like not proven track record, but a an experience, or experience at least, managing this amount of budget. Good that I see here again the numbers and also some of the tools. But again, I see here expert in scaling DTC brands through data-driven PPC,
Mhm.
which is expert subjective.
Okay.
Um, I am as a recruiter might doubt it.
Do you see there, for example, you were mentioning things to stop doing, how they got those numbers? Is that something that this is lacking or?
I need to come to the experience to
Uh-huh.
mention. So in the experience, also what I see is here's a brief summary of the like what this person was doing, and then there are also bullet points, and there are 7 of them. So it looks a bit heavy,
Mhm.
um, and it's difficult to read.
Okay.
um, then in terms of like coming back to your question about numbers, I love the part where it says reduced marketing operational expenses by 29%. And it also tells about savings, annual savings to the company. It's great. Um, but then by in-housing email marketing, creative production, web development, and campaign management while maintaining KPI performance. This part tells me almost nothing. So by doing what exactly with email marketing, by doing what exactly with like web development or campaign management. So if you're including numbers, that's good, but also explain what you did exactly. So maybe, I don't know, you created something new in terms of like the process, the flow, or invented a new way for campaign management. It would be more helpful than just mentioning.
Yeah, because it feels a little bit like just name dropping, like
Yes.
mentioning those things because I have to mention them.
Yeah, and most of the time I get it. Like most of the time, candidates applying for roles are trying to actually put everything, all these, like,
The keywords, no?
yes. You can also ask AI to just adjust your CV based on the experience that you have, adjust your CV to the specific role, to tone of voice of that company, and it would be better than just like blindly mentioning all the words that you know. That would also like it's quite heavy for my eyes to go through it. Now that I'm reading it, um, I don't know. I have more doubts to like whether I want to proceed because at the very beginning it caught my eye with numbers, but when I read, it's again too heavy, not clear for me. It's good and not that good in the same way.
They might be the right candidate, but they are not helping with the way they presented it.
Yeah.
And one thing that you mentioned that I like too is prepare the CV for the role,
Yes.
because it's true that your experience is very broad and you could be in many places doing many things. But if you're applying for a specific role, what is it that you did that is good for that role?
Yeah, exactly. And also helpful to have your LinkedIn updated and
Your
that
branding
and that it matches the everything that
Oh,
is
yeah.
written here. Because sometimes also you can open a CV and you can see here e-commerce marketing manager, but then you go to LinkedIn, and by the way, I don't see a link to LinkedIn here. Maybe it's just because of this. But if you don't have it as a
Important.
hyperlink, please add it. But yeah, coming back, here I see a commerce marketing manager. I would go to LinkedIn and I would see business development manager. Sometimes it happens, and yeah, it's definitely like a
That's important too. Well, that's a great exercise that we did. And look, I have here the points that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so the audience also can recapitulate and maybe go back to the ones that are interesting, but very interesting things. So one, don't treat networking and personal brand too late. Start
Yeah.
right now.
Yes.
Okay, we like this one. Another one is treat interviews as presentations. No. Okay, I'm not gonna get hired, okay? Treat interviews as conversations, not presentations.
Yes.
Show what you have built, how you build it, instead of just the numbers.
Yeah, in CV and also in interviews.
Exactly. And mention AI too.
Yeah.
Mention AI. And the final one, over specializing while the market moves towards range.
Yes.
That's a not to do. Expand your curiosity. Curiosity is everything. Lovely. And for everyone that is out there, please make sure if you like the content to subscribe, leave a comment, actually share with us what's that one skill that you find outdated, or that one skill that people should start developing if you consider. And follow Yuliia also on LinkedIn and everywhere. She also has her own podcast, and we are very thankful that you were with us today. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.